Greetings, everyone. Coming to you early today. Transformational Tuesday happened last night. Really was excited about that topic. And I want to visit today a different, um, similar to the topic I talked about last night, but a different view. When we talk about our challenges along this corporate journey, sometimes we make decisions that aren't necessarily thought through. And for some of you, may have decided, you know what, I'm just going to change companies. I haven't been seen where I'm at today. I've been working hard. Nothing's happening. I'm done. I'm out. So I'm going to change companies. And that is going to be, the magic. That's the pixie dust. That's, the magic wand. That is definitely going to be it. That's going to shift my total career trajectory. Or, I mean, you might not go to that extreme of changing companies. You might just say, look, this department I'm in is crazy. I don't know what their issues are or what this particular manager's issue is, but he's not promoting me. I'm not getting those opportunities. So I'm going to go over to where I see, some of those other people getting promoted. Things are happening for them. So that's where I'm going to go. And I would offer to you that, everywhere you go, there you are. There you are. Because just changing companies, unless you are in, and let me qualify this, unless you are in an extremely toxic environment, totally unhealthy, beyond toxic. Yes, absolutely. I've experienced that. I think you might remember I told a story that when I did leave that toxic environment, my boss said, one of my two bosses said, hey, if you walked on water, it wouldn't have mattered. So I'm not talking about that situation. I'm talking about the fact that you just are so frustrated, similar to what I shared last night in Transformational Tuesday. You're so frustrated that you decide the only way to get to that next level opportunity, the only way for things to happen in your career and for you to be unstuck is to change companies. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the answer. Hi, Deshaun. Thanks for joining me. That's not the answer. Changing companies, changing departments is not going to be that magic thing that all of a sudden turns your career around. And here's why. Here's why. Because you haven't truly, clearly identified why you're stuck. You haven't identified that. You've limited that perspective to yet again pointing the fingers everywhere else. And we know what happens when we point the fingers. You guys know that. We talked about that as kids. You point one, how many are pointing back at you? So you really haven't uncovered the root of the issue or the roots, the various challenges, the various reasons why you've been stuck. So just flipping the environment, just changing, and moving from one company to another or one department to another is not going to rectify that. You have to seriously do the deep dive and understand why. You've heard me say this before. I want to drive it home. What is the why? What is the root of the issue? That is when, and only when, you can be successful at getting unstuck, getting to that next level, making the change and the shift that you need to make. In this approach of trying to figure it out and wanting to immediately move, that's a gut reaction, right? That's an emotional gut reaction, very natural. But in that thought process that you're going through that leads you there, there's critical steps and milestones you need to make sure you check along your thought process. And I just mentioned the first one. What is the real why? And peeling that back, taking a look, as you're thinking through why you're stuck, what you need to do, take a look at the feedback you've already received. Have you really addressed those issues? Have you taken them seriously? and did something to turn them around? Or are you reacting out of emotion, letting frustration speak for you, letting your anger even speak for you? And then unfortunately, you make a rash decision and you leave the company and you move on to the next company. And then you get there and you're 3, 6 months in and it starts to feel similar. You're a year, 2, 3 in, and it looks exactly the same as the previous place you were at. That's because, as I said when I opened, everywhere you go, there you are. You've got to do the work, identify your gaps. And how does that happen? I shared this earlier through peeling back those layers and really doing the deep introspective dive. That's how it happens. That's how you're able to understand the real why. And once you understand that, then you can actively, intentionally, and successfully address it. That's how you get from that's how you get from stuck to unstuck. That is the first key step. And from there, you do all the other type of work, building relationships, of course, hitting your home runs, advocating for yourself. But the critical piece, the foundational piece is that peeling back, seeing yourself, understanding how people see you, then reshaping that narrative that's been holding you back so that you can show up stronger. And that then translates to growth. So I would offer to you, if you're seriously considering to resolve your issues of being challenged on your career journey, and you're considering leaving the company and going to another one, I would tell you, unless you are in an extremely unhealthy situation that's very toxic, pump the brakes on that. Because all you're going to do is take yourself with you, which means you're going to take all your issues with you. And that will then lead to just more frustration. I mean, why do that? You've already been frustrated enough. Now's the time to start doing that work, that critical work that will move the needle for you. And one way you can get that started is to click the link I put there in the comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you should see the link. If you're watching on Facebook, either live or the replay, you should see the link. Because it's that unique approach. It's very unique. It's not a common practice in career advisory and coaching to do this deep dive and peel back. It's unique. And it's one that I was very successful in doing, which is why I developed it. And I've helped numerous clients do the same thing. So don't take yourself, the you have today, let's put it that way. Let's not take that person into another environment. Do the same thing, expect a different result, because that's not going to happen. Let's start shifting who we are. Let's rewrite our narrative. Let's script the flip so that if and when you do get another opportunity, most likely right at the company you're at, you're ready for it, you're poised for it, you're successful. And if somebody happens to pick up that phone or send you an email and tap you for an opportunity external, then you will go and be extremely successful and not frustrated. But to just say, you know what, I'm out because no one here is paying attention and are listening to me, not the answer. Not the answer. Click the link. Let's talk so you don't take you everywhere you go. Take care.